Hey, how's it going, guys? Ancient Rune here, back with another Borderlands 3 build video, and today I'll be going over my ultimate flak build. Many builds are focused on one powerful thing, but this build throws all those powerful things together to have one main goal of dealing the most damage and clearing content fast. With flak, that is doing non-gun stuff, mainly like novas and grenades. This build combines Quag's rack stab and Lazy Data's grenade racks with some other grenade stuff and just personal flak knowledge to make an insane flak build, and this will be the only build you will ever need. If you want to use guns, then this is not the build for you, but if you just want to deal a lot of damage, then this build is definitely for you. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. The save file will be found in my Discord, which is linked down below, and I hope you guys enjoy. Alright, so first off, we'll go over the melee focus side, which is using the Stinger and the Fish Slap with a static charge. We have the Psycho Stabber. This gives 120% melee boost plus a 100% pure mult boost, as well as getting the 150 over 90 anointment, which is the best weapon to use for your build if enemy is above 90% health, which is a lot of times with mobbing, but once it goes under that threshold, you want to use a Guardian Angel, which gives up to 500% V2 damage with ASE melee and a melee blade. That's all that matters on these parts. And that's really it that matters for like the stat stake part. We have the Stinger here, which deals a Nova that gets melee scaling, insane damage, approximate melee effects, must have, and it's with action skill start. With racks, you will be spamming this constantly and killing anything that comes near you. And then you have the Fish Slap, which also gets melee scaling, does not get any grenade boost at all. It does get grenade radius boost, but we don't really use that here, but you can. And we want to have the Link parts. Roided is the second best, but Link is like a pure mult and it works on one enemy, so it's just flat out better than Roided. But those are the two parts that you'll want to look for, and this can triple roll Link or Roided. It just visually doesn't show it. Just use ASC radiation to have a chance for some rad explosions. Something maybe to happen, but it really usually doesn't do anything. And then to deploy our grenades even more, we use a Peregrine class mod. Whenever Flaxrax hits an enemy, they drop a grenade, and this has a short cooldown, so it has like whenever your rack hits an enemy, it can drop a Fish Slap. Now of course you have multiple racks hitting possibly multiple enemies, so it may only hit one, but you can also just kind of throw the grenade, and so you'll be activating your action skill and throwing grenades at the same time, and everything's timed. And this is even crazier with mobbing with the static charge. But first, with the Peregrine, you can either go for Eager to Impress or for Interplanetary Stalker. A big thing you'll want is melee damage, splash damage, and splash damage radius. Splash radius is huge for the Stinger. It means that it can clear more, but it doesn't boost your damage. Splash damage and melee damage are stuff that flak doesn't have in its skill tree, so this is really important. These are all kind of just really important passives, because the main effect of the Peregrine is for the legendary effect, and the top skills are all pretty good. You can kind of just farm for the passives here. And then you'll want to use a static charge. I like to use the Snowdrift static charge just so you can move around faster, because flak can be kind of slow. But you mainly just want to make sure you have melee damage and area of effect damage in the second or third slot, as you'll have the splash damage boosting your Stinger and Fish Slap, as well as the hidden radius boost boosting the Fish Slap and Stinger as well. Action skill cooldown is just nice. Elemental damage would be huge as well. You can also double roll melee damage. And then you can also use an Unleash the Dragon for single target bossing. You kind of just focus on the Fish Slap. I don't have a Brawler Ward. You could use that or a Old God, like a Fire Old God, would be really good for helping boost the Fire Dot. Alright, and then we have the Grenade Nova portion that's not melee focused, still using a Guardian Angel. This time we're using URAD because we have Deathless going on. This is just a great bonus element to apply to non-gun stuff, and it makes Radsplosions just really good in general. And this is the only stat stick that you'll need for this build. In this save as well, we just have the Res, which is just good for reviving Pet, Free Radical for a fight for your life weapon if Pet can't revive us, and then an EMP5 just for some movement speed. The main Nova you're going to use is the Frozen Heart. There are other Novas out there you can use, but Frozen Heart is just like one of the strongest. Has a huge radius, insta-freezes enemies, and heals you. Healing doesn't matter in this build, but it does heal you, and it's nice healing. So you'll use this with Action Skill Start, spamming racks, constantly having this going. And then for the grenade, a bunch of grenades you can use as well, but the main one is the Light Speed. I also like the Gas Call as well. The Light Speed is just really good with this because it has multiple projectiles. It has homing projectiles. It's just really high base damage. It is amazing. I use ASE Corrosive and just kind of element match with this. I don't feel like this anointment matters as much. It's not the main damage dealer, but there wasn't much else I could do. I could do on grenade throw, but it's additive with Guardian Angel, which up to 500% versus 25% isn't going to do much. And then again here, we use the Peregrine because it throws grenades at enemies. So we have the Peregrine going after these enemies and then throwing the grenades at them, just being great. You have the same thing of just either Eager to Impress or Interplanetary Stalker, or just any role and focusing on the bottom. You mainly want to focus on grenade damage slash damage radius. Probably the slash and grenade damage more. Slash radius is still huge, but you might just want to focus on damage. Because you can just throw more grenades and cast more Novas if you really need to. I'd rather just have those stronger hits for where they are. Splash damage is going to affect both the grenade and Nova, where grenade damage is just going to affect the grenade. But yeah, Peregrine is just the go-to there. And then Snowdrift Deathless. You really just need any Deathless with grenade damage and area of effect damage in the second or third slot for the hidden slash radius. Snowdrift is just really nice for moving around, getting from place to place. Really helpful. There's other stuff you could use. I love the Spark Plug, but it's slower clearing. Definitely feel free to do it. Spark Plug's amazing and I love it, and it can crit, which means if you get some crit damage stuff, it benefits from that. So there's still plenty of stuff to use, and an action skill cooldown rate is just nice for being able to spam racks more if needed. You can also use elemental damage if you want, as Flak doesn't have too much of that. Alright, and then this is for the true, triple sticky high damage grenade. If you don't know about this triple sticky, it double dips a lot of damage formula. It does not double dip everything, but it double dips basically the whole grenade formula besides a few things which I'll go over. And this setup isn't completely min-max, but it does well enough because I have used this and it's done great. What I use here is the Guardian Angel for the up to 500% V2 damage that will be double dipping in this grenade with the URAD anointment, just because I wanted to do this. You could use 150 over 90, but if it goes away, then that's just useless. If you're trying to do big one-shots, you'd probably go the 150 over 90 anoint for sure, but I don't use it here. And then I have the Old God here for double dipping the elemental damage. And then I have on the grenade, I have active grenade damage increase by 150%. This does not apply to the explosion of the longbow sticky, but it does apply to the base hit. So that is still useful. You might most likely want to use ASC Applied Terror on your shield, and on Terrified gain damage and fire rate as its V1 damage and will double dip in the longbow, but I haven't messed with it. And then you'd end up using Rax, but with this I just used Fade Away for the action skill active. Nothing special, just base Fade Away. And then on the artifact, you're going to want grenade damage, and what I don't have here is elemental damage to match the element you're using. So here it would be corrosive damage, as that will double dip. Grenade damage doubles dips. Area of effect damage is still nice for the base hit being splash, so you still have that there. And then the Bounty Hunter is here for the corrosive damage it stacks, with Interplanetary Stalker being a mult with the regular elemental damage. And then it also can roll Frenzy, which is V1 damage that will double dip. And then the main thing you probably want is as much points in Frenzy as possible, with grenade damage, as those will both double dip in the longbow. And then splash damage is just kind of nice. You might be able to get some crit damage in there as well, which could be really good. Ideally, probably base crit or Hyperion crit. Hyperion crit being better in the case. And then if I'm throwing too much and run out of grenades, I just throw in a quick roll reversal, and then I get the Gunslinger Jabber, and that shoots fast and should hopefully get enough. You really just want a roll reversal with 5 points in Throat Ripper, as that will make pet crit. So it's just really useful. The passives don't matter here, because then you're just swapping right back to your Bounty Hunter. I may eventually make like a video on the one-shotting stuff with this, dealing most possible damage on flak, because I'll be doing some video about this grenade. So if I do, I'll end up linking it in the description. So keep an eye out for that, or just subscribe and do it. #plug. And then the skill tree will start with the red tree. We get Interplanetary Stalker for the V1 damage it gives. Then it can also give corrosive damage, which is huge here and just really nice when it's only on robot kills, unless we're using a Bounty Hunter, which we're not unless doing certain bossing. Hunter's Eye for the occasional V2 damage and crit damage. We have Head Count. If we ever hit crits, we'll get some action skill back. The Static Charge can crit, which is nice. We also have ASC 50s, which can crit. And just a bunch of other stuff. Then we go Ambush Predator. This is mainly just getting down the tree. The crit damage is nice if we happen to crit. Then we have Big Game to increase all of our hunter skills, and then a point in Galactic Shadow for some more crit damage. Don't need Leave No Trace, don't need Second Intention. Two Fang does nothing. Most Dangerous Game at most gives some crit damage, which is situational, so I don't end up going that. And then we don't go Megafor, so we can get other skills that are going to be much more important. In Green Tree, we're getting down to Power Inside. We have regenning health and max health. The regen part is really, and max health I guess, is really if we're not using Deathless, but Furious Attack, the gun damage, isn't helping us at all, so we don't get it. Eager to Impress, the cooldown is amazing, especially if you're not critting a lot, then this is going to be a big way to get cooldown back. All my BFFs just because extra flak pet healing, and only need one point in here because really nothing else helps too much, because this is helping to get down the tree to this area. But we have Lick the Wounds, must have, revives you if you go down. Turn, Tail, and Run for the health regen and damage reduction while moving, mainly the health regen, just helps constantly move. I go Fast and Furious for the movement speed when we're not using Deathless, so mainly with the Stinger and Fish Slap, which is just really nice. And then Hidden Machine, I just have 2 points in here, but there's nothing really else to put it in. You can mix it between Rage and Recover and Hidden Machine, but it is additive with Guardian Angel, so it's not too much, and we're not really drawing aggro much, so it doesn't help there. I really like Rage and Recover because it's 8% health regen, which is just amazing and really, really good. And then we have Power Inside, 25% V1 damage if you're at full health. It is 50%, so stuff on like the melee portion, it is going to be getting 50% a bunch. And still you're getting 25% if you're going the Grenade Nova version. Nothing in Purple Tree because Purple Tree sucks. And then we're going down to get Barbaric Yop and Pack Tactics, but we're also getting Frenzy. Frenzy is getting V1 damage. Let's take this off real quick because that doesn't show correctly what we're going to be getting consistently. We're going to be getting 40% V1 damage, and this is going to be double dipping in a bunch of stuff and just boosting stuff in general. These skills don't really matter since I'm using Fade Away for that sticky grenade bossing. I have Persistence Hunter here. I just go 3 Heat Bites just to get down the tree, but Heat Rescue 2 is an amazing skill. You have 1 point in this, pet should never go down unless it's like an insta-kill thing, because you're dealing so much damage that 1% of damage into pet health will fill up pet very quickly. So it's just kind of there. Psycho Head on the Stick is here for the movement speed, just so pet can get to you faster for like the wounds if needed. And then Barbaric Yop to boost our pet, which is huge. And then we have Pack Tactics to give us even more V1 damage. We got 40% here, 21%. We got 25 to 50%. And then this is what, hold on, let me just unequip this grenade. 13% per stack. I think it's like 3 stacks in Interplanetary Stalker. That's a lot. It could be like around 150% V1 damage at max, 100% to 150%. Just from this alone is crazy, especially when you've got the double dipping portion. And then the main thing on this, with the Nova's grenades melee, it's the same here. You use Rack Attack, so you can spam your action skill for the Nova. And then we have Flock and Load, just throws more racks out, which means more chances for the Peregrine class mod to hit an enemy to throw out a grenade. And then Accelerate for the extra skill charge and cooldown rate, which is huge. And then the pet is going to be Spider Ant Scorcher. Really the only pet you ever need. There are some situational stuff for other pets, but Scorcher never goes wrong. You get, with Barbaric Yop, 30% elemental damage. Flak has it nowhere else in the skill tree, and you need to get it from other stuff like a shield or a class mod. So getting it here is amazing, just very easy. And then you also get some nice consistent health regen, which is really cool. And then our Guardian rank is just the normal stuff, and same with Mayhem modifiers. Nothing fancy going on there. I hope you guys enjoyed the build video. This build does take some knowledge to play correctly, and I try and explain the best I can, but I will link tons of videos in the description to help you out. And please ask any questions you have in the comments or in my Discord, because I want to help you learn. Flak has insane damage formula that can be used to make non-gun items deal insane damage and just kill everything. Again, you can find the save file in my Discord, which is linked down below, as well as my other socials. And if you haven't, I would really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.